This is Passion Coach Robin Eschler, and I'm really excited about today because I'm a little bit of a nerd. My background is in science, and today we get to share some science, some physics, some math, and so bear with me. Some of these concepts are a little bit difficult to grasp, but that's okay. Just hang in there with me for a little bit. Yesterday, we talked more about the philosophy and we introduced the idea of transcendental thought as researched by Henry David Thoreau, uh, in his book on Walden Pond. And to paraphrase that, he talks about his findings that when a person puts new thinking into place, that universal laws are put into place to create a higher order uh, of reality, of things coming in life. So let's look at our first scientifically researched law, the law of vibration. Everything in the universe, we know this, everything in the universe is in constant motion. There's molecules, there are electronics, there's atoms, there's quarks, there's everything that you can think of. And it vibrates. Every one of them vibrates at a specific frequency. In 2021, Michio Kaku, who's a renowned physicist in string theory and a Nobel laureate, he's been working on string theory since 1968. He published the book, and listen to this title of the book. It's called The God Equation. Isn't that interesting? A physicist with a book called The God Equation. He explains that if we had a powerful enough microscope, we could see electrons, quarks, neutrinos, etc., that they're nothing but vibrations on minuscule loops, similar to a rubber band. And that by plucking that rubber band enough times and in different ways, it actually creates subatomic particles. And these subatomic particles can be imagined to ultimately come together and to form or manifest. So let's think about that a minute. We've got all these little vibrating particles, vibrating. And as we pluck it, as we disturb them, that they actually create subatomic particles that can then come together and manifest something in form. This is a law, this is string theory that Michio Kaku, again, is a Nobel laureate and well respected, has been researching. But I'm jumping ahead. So the laws of physics overall can be reduced to the harmonies on these strings. The universe is essentially a big symphony. And if you would like, we could say that God is described as cosmic music resonating throughout the time-space continuum. Now, there's a thought. So to experience this in reality, okay, again, as a physical law, have any of you seen the social post? I think it's on Instagram. I don't think I've seen it on Facebook. Anyway, there's a social post that shows a cedar tree. Now, mind you, cedar trees are thousands of years old in many cases. And this cedar tree has been had these little clips put on the needles and portions of the bark, and it goes through this amplifier that actually has music that the tree has created through its electrical impulses, through these vibrating particles. Isn't that amazing? I love it. So if you'd like to actually see that post, again, you're going to need to go and join our Facebook group called Blue Sky Lifestyle Tribe. And you'll see the link. I'll make sure to put the post in there somehow on Facebook so that you can see it for yourself. It's quite amazing. Now, what's truly amazing, to me anyway, and again, I'm a bit of a nerd, is to go back to ancient times, back to the philosophers and the scientists like Aristotle. But before Aristotle, there was a philosopher by the name of Democritus who theorized that everything could be reduced to tiny, indestructible particles. Now, isn't that? This just tickles me. I'm sorry. Thousands of years later, we actually proved the existence of atoms. Also, some of you who took math will remember the Pythagorean formula. Pythagoras, who was a mathematician, ancient Greek mathematician, applied math to music and frequencies. He observed that musical frequencies vibrate within certain ratios or resonances. So so what does that mean? Because we're getting kind of in the weeds as far as science is concerned. I have fun with it, but not everybody will. So let's bring it back to reality. Think about a piano in one room, a grand piano, and a violin in another. And when a particular note is played on the violin in a different room, it will resonate. Again, this energy, this law of resonance, it will resonate such that that note will actually seem to come from the piano. This is the law of sympathetic resonance. Now, we're going to come forward a little bit and look at the Spielberg movie. Do any of you remember Close Encounters of the Third Kind? I loved it. Richard Dreyfuss was so much fun building these mashed potato mountains. Anyway, the show depicts communication with extraterrestrials. The spaceship comes down. But what's interesting to me is that communication occurred through music and color. So we'll talk a little bit about color and resonances later, but right now we're focused on the music. So now we're going to come back again to string theory, which predicts that our universe may actually just be, and when we use the word predict, we're thinking about back to Pythagoras and Democritus, that they predicted, and we are predicting, that our universe may actually be just one among a whole ocean of equally and parallel universes. So we're not talking about galaxies and things that are way off there in space, but actually a parallel universe to us today. So, in other words, there's an infinite potential. It's very esoteric and it's hard to imagine. I don't want to get into the weeds anymore. So let it suffice to say that we exist within this sea of infinite potential, like not resident, resonances or vibrations that actually attract or reinforce each other, like the experiment with the piano and the violin in different rooms. It's not much of a stretch to consider this in different terms. The law of attraction. Like attracts like. That note on the violin attracts the same note on the piano in different rooms. The law of attraction says that says that the frequency that is set in motion by our brain thinking a thought actually attracts to it that same frequency or manifestation. Okay, this is scientific. This is not woo-woo. So if you use string theory, you could imagine that our thoughts actually transcend the universes, those parallel universes and others, to manifest and attract like thoughts. Thoreau tested the theory of transcendental thinking when he was living on Walden Pond. If you're feeling a little bit lost, go back on the group page, Blue Sky Lifestyle Tribe, and listen to the days coming up to this one. This is the fourth day. I've tried to keep a logical progression while satisfying my own science background and curiosity. So tomorrow we'll take it another step. Don't miss when we talk about color, the brain, and their role together. In order to learn and how to apply the sciences, the law of vibration, and others, in order to guide yourself to a far better experience of life, I encourage you to join me live for my masterclass coming up soon so that you can ask any questions that may come up for you, and I can get rid of any lingering confusion about how to do this step by step. You'll learn the secrets of how to love life, really, truly love life on a daily basis, and step into a fulfilled existence rather than just waiting and maybe even losing your chance at happiness. So register. But first, you have to join my Blue Sky Lifestyle Tribe on Facebook. It's a private group, it's free. And there you will get access to all the videos that I've been presenting over the past few days and the ones that are still coming so that you can be prepared for the masterclass. It's important. It's important to understand this foundational content. So the link to the page so that you can join is going to be on a slide coming up soon. And there's also a QR code that you can scan so you can get directly to the page from your phone, or you can type in the URL on your computer. It's up to you. And I want to encourage you to join, to invite your friends to join. The more the merrier, and you'll all be included in the daily processes, the prizes, and the fun that we'll have together. We'll make more friends in the tribe who can be supportive because they're on a similar path. And I will be there on a daily basis also to answer your questions and to support you. So there's really no downside. And I'll look forward to seeing you there, both in the tribe and at the masterclass. Thanks for joining me.